G'day guys, welcome back to the Rugby League Guru podcast, continuing with our best 17s segment today. We've got the South Sydney Rabbitohs coming your way. This is, of course, my best 17 that I would pick. Not the likely one that I think they'll pick, but we'll talk about where we think the team will land and whatnot. But we've got a special guest for this one, and Kempy's obviously over in Japan as we speak. So I noticed a poor little soul walking around the streets, lost, nowhere to go, nothing to do. So I brought him under the wing. Matty The Waterboy, welcome in. How are we?
Guru, Cat. Yeah, it is a bit weird. Normally, you're kind of gearing up and you're in such a strong routine by this time of year, but Denon's gone away now and I kind of have to, figure everything out myself. So I literally have been just walking around doing nothing.
It's like when your parents first go away for the first time and leave you at home for the weekend, and you have the wildest diet of all time. You just do the weirdest shit you can.
Yeah, and it's probably a good thing that there's not too many employees there because I'm pretty much by myself the whole time anyway.
I'm going to make a bold prediction I'm very confident on.
Yeah.
The first time your parents went away and you were at home alone, I reckon at some point there would have been a mattress pulled out onto a floor and you were scoring tries on it.
Close. So we had a trampoline.
Yes.
And we always used to jump. So my neighbor's house, they have this concrete shed.
Yeah.
And it wasn't scoring tries, it was WWE.
Ah, yes.
So I had this big Fred Flintstone toy. It was massive. It was as big as me at the time. And I was just superplexing him off the neighbor's roof onto the trampoline, just constantly winning. I'm pretty sure I was undefeated.
I have no doubt you would be. Bad day to be Fred. Mate, Rabbitohs, before we get into the side, I am very excited for you guys this year. I know that you'll probably be a little bit hesitant after the scars of the last few seasons, but I think this side can be a top 4 side, and I think they are mate, I'd actually, I've called them a premiership smoky. I think the squad's good enough to even just be above a smoky, to be honest with you. What are your thoughts?
I think that's a fair call. You're right. I'm a bit apprehensive after the last 2 years, particularly last year. Last year was an absolute disaster. I feel like when you're a good team or when you're any team, your season, no matter how good you are, can be killed by either non-stop injuries or non-stop off-field issues. And unfortunately for South, it was a hot mix of both. And the off-field stuff that was carried on from the year before. So it's not just like it was one season. I was probably sitting in this same chair a year ago doing the best 17, saying the exact same thing. Let's just hope the off-field issues have been sorted. And now they are sorted because there was a whole clean out.
Yeah.
But it's been going on for a year and a half. That whole Magic Round thing. And again, we probably joked about that this time last year as well. That seems like forever ago.
Yes.
South beat Melbourne. And it's just been an absolute disaster since then. I think they won 4 games after that year, and however many games they won last year, they come second last. It's been a shit show, and I agree with you. I'm hopeful, but I'm a little bit scarred from the last 2 years. So it is hard for me to get. I don't want to put myself out there to be excited at the moment, but I do understand that it is a good squad and it should go well, and I'll be stoked if they make the top 8 this year. But yeah, you're right. I am a bit apprehensive.
I think in this preseason, a lot of talk about, who's going to be the signing of the year. I mean, if you want to include coaches, I think Wayne will be the signing of the year by quite a distance.
I agree. And I think that wherever you put South this year, if they had the exact same squad and Wayne wasn't coming, everyone would put them way lower.
Yes.
And it's as simple as that.
Yeah, which I think is completely
fair. It's completely fair.
Yeah, 100%. So, I'm not as concerned about off-field stuff. I think Wayne will just...
Oh, sorry. I'm not concerned about off-field stuff at all. I'm just saying the scars of the off-field shit from last year has got me, again, not wanting to put myself out there to be too excited. But, seriously, that video the other day of Latrell and Wayne standing together, I'm just like, holy shit. Yeah, I'm ready to be heard again.
Yeah.
Can I just interject?
Go on.
I loved Batuta Advocate's post.
Oh, how funny was that?
And you actually reposted it, but just like South fans, we just don't care. What anyone says, we don't care about your 2025 prediction after we saw that photo of them standing next to each other. Things just look so good. Trell looks so fit. Wayne, he's so at home at the Bunnies. It's just good vibes all round.
I agree. And I love on that post, I don't think they did it on the Instagram one, but on the Facebook one, their caption was just the Penrith dynasty is over. So good.
That photo, Matty. Are you? You're not a Star Wars fan, are you?
Nah.
People at home will get it. I remember, like, when I saw that photo, it reminded me of the first time you saw, like, there was Wayne Bennett Latrell, the first time you saw, like, Palpatine, like, the older Sith with, like, Darth Maul when I was, like, 10 when that first came out, and just going, oh, these two are going to fuck.
I don't know why you looked at me. I don't know what any of that means.
Yeah, I actually, as I started talking, I remember, you know, watch movies.
Sorry, can I just say
are you a Star Wars cat?
Yeah, but like this happens to us a lot. I say, yeah, I like Star Wars, and then he'll be like, so you'll understand the most niche reference ever. And I'm like, no, not that level of Star Wars. Like, did I sit and watch them? Yes. Like my parents, you know, they love sci-fi.
I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
I said to her, like we've said, I'm a big Seinfeld fan, as you know. She's like, oh, yeah, I like Seinfeld, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I told her my Supercoach draft name, which is Uncle Leo Thompson.
Nice.
And she looked at me like I had three heads yesterday. It fucking broke me. Absolutely broke my heart.
No, but you didn't say Seinfeld before that. So my brain had to go straight to Seinfeld.
Yeah.
I was like, there's a lot of funny uncles out there. I don't know what's going on.
I think you would have got that.
Uncle Leo.
All right.
Cool.
That's enough
I feel
fuckery.
left out now.
Let's get into our 17. Now, guys, these are available in the Roo Crew. The link's in the description if you want to go check them out. They've been in there for a week or so, along with all of our extra content and whatnot. Matty's in there. You can have a good little laugh with him. Let's get into the 1 to 17, Matty. At fullback, Trell Fit, we're calling him around here.
Oh, yeah.
He looks
good.
incredible. There probably isn't a heap to say on Latrell, but mate, he just...
I guess the only thing to say is we're assuming he can play round one because he does have to serve a suspension.
Yeah.
The All-Stars game is at Combank Stadium before the season. It was meant to be at the end of the season, but I think the RLPA stopped that. So that's why they said last year he'd miss round one. But so just going off precedence, I think he will be suspended for that game and play round one. I'm not certain. I haven't heard anything, but that's just what I'm expecting from years gone by.
I'm expecting the same.
Yeah.
I think it would be very dumb of the NRL to not have him there round one.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think he will be there round one. If he's not, Jai Gray jumps into the one.
Yep.
And he'll do a job.
100%. It could be more different, but he did such a good job for us last year.
100%. So, yeah, Latrell Mitchell at fullback picks himself. Wingers, I think we both agree, mate, Ty Munro. Mate, I looked at some photos the other day. I think he looks a little bit bigger than he has previously. Right. I'm really excited to see what Ty can do. Obviously, had that injury last year, came back, had a really tough time off field as well, but did some pretty impressive things in a short amount of time. We both know how talented Ty is. He'll be the right winger for me, and I'm very hyped about him, mate.
It's hard to say he could be anything now without kind of chuckling because that's the whole catchphase. But he actually, he is a legitimate CBA.
He's a genuine.
He literally could be anything. So, was it his debut, wasn't it? Where he killed it from the start. That game against Penrith last year, which was memorable for all the wrong reasons, unfortunately. But he came out and had the best game of his career under the most horrid circumstances. So, yeah, he's obviously got a lot of ticker and a lot going on upstairs, which is just, I'm so excited for Ty. And he's obviously incredibly skillful. Yep. So I'm keen to see him this year. I think he played about a handful of games last year. He was injured like every other player last year. So, I'm keen for him this year.
And we'll get to him soon, but the man inside him, a huge plus for Ty as well.
Yep.
The other wingmate, obviously AJ, Achilles injury last year.
Yep.
At the age he's at and the sort of athlete he is, Achilles injuries can be quite scary. I think that when AJ is available once again, I think he does walk into this side. He's obviously done enough to walk straight back in. Until then, though, mate, I'm more than happy to see Isaiah Tass on that wing.
Yep, I agree with you 100%. I think, Achilles injuries are tough. You have to ask the NRL physio, but I think they're looking at somewhere. I think Magic Round would be a good return around then. So for the sake of this podcast, we'll just leave him out for now. I'm with you on Tass. I think AJ will come back in. I don't know if he'll walk back in. I reckon they might give him 1 game, 2 games in reserve grade just to, he's recovering from a major, major injury that he has never had before. I don't think he's had a major injury before, AJ.
I don't think he has,
Yeah, so I'm happy with Tass,
Gun to head, the year is 2027. Is Ken Irvine still the highest try scorer of all time?
There is no situation where I'm not saying AJ is not breaking that record. You just got to manifest a guru. He will break that record.
I should have known better. Let's move to the centres, mate. I think these two pick themselves. Campbell Graham on the right. I think he is still an Origin calibre centre. Might be tough for him to get into Origin, but I think he's going to be playing at that level for a long time to come. Him and Ty Munro on the right edge. I absolutely fucking love that for you guys.
I remember last year I was throwing up maybe Jack Whiten could play back row, and a year on, like that thought seems so wrong that I can't believe it even entered my head. We need Jack Whiten at centre so badly, and that was proven last year when we were decimated. Like he killed it when he went to 6, but it left a huge hole everywhere else. And Campbell Graham obviously missed the entire year. So them two coming out of trouble and then doing what they do with the ball and their defence as well. Like if them two can play 22 or more games both in centres together, look out.
Yeah, for sure. I love having White in the side too, mate, because if, we'll get to the halves very soon, if one of these halfbacks can't own that jersey, I think Whiten's sitting there as a break the glass emergency option. Play him at 5'8", play Walker at 7, and I think you can be very successful there as well. So,
well, he showed last year he can.
Yeah.
Like he's played 5'8" in Origin. Like he hasn't started there, but he's come on and played. Like he's, yeah. I know I've said this story a few times, but one of my favourite Jack Whiten stories is Origin to 2019 in Perth when he actually debuted the Origin game before. And people don't remember this, but that was a shocking, like no one expected him to get picked. Yeah. That was a crazy selection from Freddie. Like people give shit for Freddie for some shit selections, but bloody hell, he's made some good ones. Yeah. And he started a great Origin career. But anyway, Jackie Whiten threw the intercept to lose us the game in game 1 on his debut. And Freddie just goes, nah, you picked next game. And not only you picked next game, you're starting next game at centre. Anyway, Joey said that when they had their first kick chase, they're all going to go up together and they're just, play it safe, blah, blah. First kick chase, Jack Whiten just went out of the line, smacked Kalen Ponga, who had the worst Origin game of his career after that. Like, I'm not saying that's why, but it definitely set the tone.
Plays a role.
Blues killed it. And Jack Whiten said after the game, nah, this is how it's going to be.
Yeah, he's a mentality player.
Oh, 100.
Yeah. So those two in the centres are 5'8", obviously Cody Walker. Mate, I think a lot of people are talking about Latrell having a big season. I think Cody is going to go absolutely nuts this year. I think when you look back to 2021, the last time he was coached by Wayne Bennett, I thought that was the best season of his career. He was, a big Stephen Crichton player away from being a Clive Churchill medalist. I think people are looking at. I just think Cody, mate, the last 2 years, I think it's been pretty evident he hasn't been happy playing his footy, and I think that has a huge impact on Cody, probably more so than most footballers in this comp. I think with Wayne coming back, similar to the rest of this squad, I think he's going to be up and about. I think we see a big resurgence from Cody Walker. I think the age he's at. 10 years ago, I could understand the argument of him slowing down. Mate, I think he's going to kill it this year. I can't wait to watch him.
I'm with you. And I think that he looks like a guy last year who was, how old is he? Like 32, 33.
Yeah.
That people were falling around him. There was off-field dramas. South couldn't win. And I didn't think Cody Walker had a bad year. I thought he played all right. He just wasn't his absolute best. I just thought he's just a frustrated person. That's all he was. He was just like, I'm fucking sick of this shit. Like, what is going on here? Like, all this shit is happening around me. Like, I reckon with all that sorted and hopefully, touch wood, less injuries this year, we'll see the best of Cody again because...
35 years.
Jeez. Well, I guess he started pretty late.
Yeah.
But...
Mate, it doesn't concern me. I think in the modern game, guys that take care of themselves, which Cody obviously has over the years... I just think it's just about getting him in a good frame of mind.
I thought it was unfair, the criticism he copped last year.
Yeah.
I thought he was good.
Yeah.
I thought he was one of our better players. And like we had basically no forwards last year. Everyone was injured. People forget that.
Yeah.
So you need to have fit people around you, a good 4-pack to do what you do. And I think he was just frustrated last year.
Yeah, I agree. Halfback, probably the most interesting jersey in South Sydney at the moment. I say that, but I feel pretty confident they'll give Dodd first crack by the sounds of everyone you hear talking in interviews and everything. It sounds like Dodd will be that guy.
Yeah, and I'm going off that and that alone, I've actually never seen him play. I've watched a few highlights and that's it. So I can't really comment that much. It's just, going of vibes and what people are saying, I think he'll be the halfback. And if that's what they're doing, then the fans should give him a chance and back him in.
Yeah, I listened to an interview with Campbell Graham the other day, and just his wording, it sounded like Dodd was on his edge. So, which makes sense, on the right edge.
Yeah.
Cody
that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, I think...
It's been so long, I forget what side Campbell Graham played on. Yeah.
Yeah, Cam was on the right.
On the right.
But last time Cam was on, like, when Adam Reynolds was there or whatever year, like, Cody Walker spent a lot of time on the right edge as well. And I haven't watched it all myself, but I heard someone say the other day that Dodd has always been a left side player in the Super League.
Yeah.
Whatever that means, I don't know. Personally, mate, I'm kind of hoping Wayne doesn't play left and right. I think he just lets Dodd be first receiver and just let Cody.
That'd be nice. Yeah, because Dodd is a left side player from what I've seen as well, and a left foot kicker. So we got 3 of them in our team with White and Walker, and it's crazy. So hopefully they just...
I think Humphrey's a left footer too.
Is he really?
I think so. Yeah.
Wow.
So, look, guys, obviously Jamie Humphries is in the squad as well. I'm sure he'll feature in both of our teams somewhere. I think he's going to be a very important part of South Sydney this year. You've also got Bud Sullivan there, mate, who...
Yeah.
Mate, I've been critical of Bud Sullivan over the last 12 months because I just think he's playing so far below his ability. It's not even fucking funny. It's not unusual for guys to do that at the Tigers. He wanted out. He's managed to land in possibly the best spot he could under Wayne Bennett. And if there's a point of the year where Bud Sullivan comes in and he kills it and he plays like the player we've talked about since he was playing Steelers SG ball, I won't be shocked.
Obviously, Bud Sullivan wants to get the best out of himself because he's on big money at the Tigers, and he could have just been like, "No, I'm staying here. I'll stay for. I'll take my pay packet and I'll go home. I don't care." That's obviously not who he is.
Yeah.
There's a really, really, really good player in there. We saw it at the Dragons. So my natural reaction when we signed him was a bit like, oh, I'm not too sure, purely because of Schuster as well. It's more of I'm like, kind of two experimental ones. But, geez, you get the best out of just one of them. Holy shit.
And you know what, mate? As you said, they're 2 experimental players, but, like, I look at my best 17. Neither of them are in it.
Yeah, same.
So, fuck, why not? Like,
why not?
The upside you can get in both of these guys, the depth, I like it. Let's get to the front row, mate. I've got Totola, and I don't know if he wants to, whatever. I think if South's going to win a comp this year, Keon has to play in the middle. I'm starting him in the front row.
This is where our first difference is. So my front row is completely different.
Okay.
I've got Jai Arrow starting in the front row.
Yep.
I've said it from the second he joined South. He's a much better middle, in my opinion. I think we plugged him on an edge because we needed to. South have had edge depth problems for ages.
Yep.
Honestly, still probably do. But he needs to be starting. He's a better middle for me. I would start Totola. He's played 6 games last year. He played 14 games the year before. There was the talks he might not ever play again because of injuries and stuff. I heard him speaking about it. I'm happy to start him on the bench.
Yep.
He's definitely in my team. He won Player of the Year for South in 2022. So that's why he's on my bench. I'll put Miley start for now. Totola might end up the year starting. Who knows? But just to start the year, I'm having Arrow and I'm having Davey Miley starting and then Totola on my bench.
Before I saw Keon play through the middle, I would have completely agreed on everything you said on Arrow. And I actually do completely agree with everything you just said on Arrow. But I just think Keon, mate, if you've got him play, like for me, he was in the top 5 front rowers in the game last year.
I agree. But if he doesn't want to play there, then I can just keep him happy. And he's still a great back rower.
I just think with Wayne arriving there, I'd be sitting down with him going, mate, if you're not playing in the front row, I don't know if we can win a comp. If you're playing there, I genuinely think if they have him playing through the middle, I think you can win a premiership this year. And, mate, imagine his next fucking contract.
I agree. I 100% agree. I just don't think that's what's going to happen. That's why I put him at back row. But you're right. I think he was one of the best middle players at the comp last year. Like, just look at his stats. He was crazy.
Yeah.
But Wayne is a people person, people manager. Maybe Wayne can convince him, but just the way I'm thinking about it, I would rather... I don't know if I still love Kolomatangi in the back row, but I love Arrow in the middle. I just don't think we get the best out of him in the back row.
Is there a world where you could have Keon and Arrow in the middle for you?
Yeah, but fuck, then our edges are a bit thin. That's the only problem. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, let's move to your edges, mate. For me, I know he's carrying a bit of an injury at the moment, but Ewan Aitken, if he's fit and available, he lands on an edge for
Definitely.
me. What edge, I don't know. I don't really care. Obviously, your other edge is Keon.
Yep.
I've got Arrow on the other side, so just a straight swap.
We've basically just switched, yeah.
Yeah, we basically just switched. 13, he's obviously out for the first few weeks, I believe, Cam Murray, but he will line up in jersey 13. I think, mate, you missed him quite a bit last year as well.
I remember talking to him. We did a photo shoot with him.
Yeah.
And it was about it would have been one of those dead shit rounds that no one cares about before the finals, like round 22 or 23 or something, just before I think he might have got injured at the end of the year or suspended or something.
Got suspended from Origin.
Yeah, so it was after that, and we were talking about that.
Yeah.
And I kind of laughed about it to him, and he was like deadpan serious. He's like, nah, I needed to play those games to give us any chance. And because in my spectator's mind, I was like, I will go on anyway. But obviously, Cam Murray is the captain of South and built way different than I am. And he was like, no, I was pretty devastated to miss those games because they needed me those games, and you know, we needed to win those games. We just needed our players on the field. But in that same conversation, he said, I've never been more fresh because I've just been suspended and injured this whole year. So I think it was a bit of a frustrating year for Cam. Like he got suspended, he got injured before Origin, he got suspended. And then I can't remember if he got suspended or injured at the end of the year, but he missed the last couple of games. So, and then he got injured again in the Pacific Championship. So frustrating year for Cam. He's our best forward, so close to our best player. So we need him.
I think Wayne needs to instill that same attitude in Keon. The team needs me here. I think he just needs to find a way to fucking do it because I think it's a huge needle mover.
There is not one part of me that is disagreeing. Yeah. Not one. Like if that happens, I will be stoked.
Yeah. All right, let's move to the bench. Jersey 14, utility jersey. Look, I've got written down here Humphreys / Havili. I would go for Humphreys. I think he's going to be super important to your season. But we're both big Havili fans.
I love Havili. He's not in my team, which is actually pretty tough for me. Humphreys is going to be my 14. The thing about Havili, though, is I don't think he can be 18th man because looking at this team, I think we're pretty much covered in the forwards if they get an injury, but the backs are kind of fucked if there's an injury. So I think you need to have an outside back there. But aside from that, if anyone in this team gets injured, basically anyone, Havili comes straight. He pretty much solves a lot of problems. So it's tough not having him in the 17, but I reckon he'll play 20 games this year.
I think when it comes to your backs coverage, I think Aitken can solve that problem for you. I think he can do a job. Obviously, you had Damien Cook last year. I think Aitken can do a job there. I think you're better off shifting Aitken than Cam Murray, which you've done previously.
Oh, 100%. I think Aitken has to be the guy. Admittedly, I forgot about Aitken because I was thinking about round one where he's not available.
He's not available, yeah.
So you're right. There is a bit of cover there, which is nice.
Now, when it comes to Humphreys, I'd have him as my jersey 14. I think he's going to be super important. We actually skipped over the 9 jersey. I would have Mamazelis.
Mamazelis, yeah.
Mamazelis and Humphreys. I think it'll be a combo of those two. Honestly, it wouldn't shock me if it's the other way around, potentially. It wouldn't shock me if by the end of the season, Humphreys is playing more minutes. I think he's going to be super important.
Yeah.
I watched Mamazelis come out of school. I thought he was going to be the next big thing. It hasn't played out the way I thought it would. I think when he got his opportunities last year, he did well. I don't think he grabbed it with 2 hands, if I'm completely honest. And I found it weird that Damien Cook was leaving and they didn't trial him playing big minutes.
I did find that weird as well. I'm happy to wait a season because he's been in the shadow of Cook the whole time, even the end of last year. So I'm definitely willing to give him a chance because South did. They gave him a 3-year deal a year or two ago, and he could have signed. I'm sure he could have signed anywhere else, like a lot of other clubs. So I think with Humphreys as well over Havili. Humphreys can play in the halves as well, can't he? So there's something else. Like we've got Dodd who's never played an NRL game before. So it'd be good to have Humphreys there over Havili just because of that factor as well.
I'll tell you what, if you are Dodd or Mamazelis, I just don't think you want to give Humphreys a chance.
Oh, yeah.
I think it could be very, very costly.
There's a lot of and that's the good thing about South this year. There's a lot of competition for key spots.
For sure. Can you imagine what Bud Sullivan's going to do?
Exactly. Haven't even spoken about Bud Sullivan except for the start of the show, but in that conversation then, Even Schuster. Like, I know
Mate,
Schuster's
your New South Wales Cup side is going to be lights out shit. I can't
Yeah.
wait to watch them.
Yeah, true.
Jai Gray at fullback, Schuster on one edge, Bud Sullivan in the halves. It's going to be mad. Havili at 9.
Yeah.
Once again, I don't want to interrupt you guys, but have I not?
I mean, this is
kind
your
of
team as well.
it's true, and I've been taking it all in. But I wanted to let you guys have your moments before I came in and just provided my full 17. No, but in all seriousness, I feel like Bud's one of those players where you've seen glimpses of greatness with Dragons, with Tigers, but there's definitely been something missing. And I think like in the right ecosystem, the right environment, I think he has a lot of value. So I'm actually really, really excited to see how he plays at Souths. He seems to be in a better place there. I don't know, the vibes just seem better. And I think similar case with Josh Schuster as well. When they're switched on, they can bring a lot to the table, but it's getting them switched on the right way.
I couldn't agree more. Like, this isn't a rugby league term. This is a universal term that you're a product of your environment. And the Tigers' environment the last few years has been bad. Even when Sullivan was at the Dragons, like they weren't exactly winning.
Yep.
Schuster is a whole different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
But like, you're right. Like South, true now, fair. South a year ago, shocking environment. Like it was terrible. But Wayne's there now, so we can clean the slate. I agree. Just going back, what are your thoughts on the front rowers with Kolomatangi?
Oh, I mean, let's remember too that I work with Guru, so I'm heavily influenced by his opinions. I think, look, we did also reach out to. Can we say the player who you reached out to? No, okay. No. We reached out to one of the players of Rabbitohs to get an idea of who looked really good in preseason, and they specifically pointed out Keon just being in a really, really good space right now.
Yep.
I strongly believe Keon is one of those players who is so naturally talented that wherever you put him, he's going to do a good job. So for me, it's a case of filling all the other holes and allowing Keon to just play his best footy. So if it is in the front row and it is in that position, then by all means put him there. But I know, we've dabbled with the idea of him in a lock role. Is that right? That where you like him, Guru?
Yeah, or just
in the middle somewhere, yeah.
So I'm kind of open. I think the fact that we do have so many new players this season, I'm down to see a little bit of change happen from game to game until we find a formation that works best, because we're only going based off what we've seen.
For sure.
In other teams or in a really bad season. So for Keon, I just think he's got the head, like he's got the mentality to just play so freaking well wherever you put him. So I'm just excited to see him in this new dynamic and actually where they end up putting him and where he ends up playing his best footy.
That is such a good point that he's got the mentality, because if he hated playing in the middle so much, then why was he the best middle in the comp?
This is what I can't make sense of. I get it. If they put Keon in the middle and he got absolutely pumped from pillar to post and he wasn't able to handle it, I go, fuck, I get it, bro. But him saying I want to play edge, there's other front rowers in the comp going, thank fuck.
Yeah.
I know.
Thank God. Like, we couldn't handle this guy. Like, he was, if you put his numbers next to Adam Fanua-Blake, they were exactly the same during that period. Maybe give or take tries, everything else. I just think he's so dominant there. And, he played for Tonga against the Kangaroos at the end of the year. Fuck, man, if he's playing as a middle, he's probably in my Kangaroos side next year. He was that good.
Yeah.
He played so well for Tonga.
Well, every time he's played in the middle, as you said, last year's killed it. He just must have so much going on upstairs. He must be so mentally strong.
Yeah, I think so.
That if he hates it so well, okay, hate is a strong word. We're just going off interviews that we've heard and what Ben Hornby said. But like, if he'd rather play back row, but still shows up every week, then he's a guy I want in my team.
My thing with it as well is that, and you know what, to defend Keon, if what we're hearing is true and everything, I think last year when Cam Murray was injured, he was playing lock. He was playing it for 80 minutes. It's a big fucking knock. I get that. I think if Wayne sells it to him, mate, you are a 55-minute front rower. If we need you to go more occasionally with injuries, HIAs maybe, but say to him, mate, it won't be an 80-minute gig. It won't be what you had to put your body through last year. And, like, you got to remember, mate, like what he did last year, it was incredible playing a front row forward. Like, compare it to Adam Fanua-Blake. Adam Fanua-Blake prepared for that for 6 months before it. Keon didn't.
That's true.
Imagine when his body's actually toned to do it. Like I don't know. I think someone needs to have a hard conversation or just put a line in the sand and go, hey, you're a 55-minute front row forward. You could be the best in the comp, and it could be the difference between us winning a competition this year.
I tell you what helps as well, like helps your point as well. Like you'd expect an edge player to score more tries than a middle player, right?
Yep.
For obvious reasons.
Yep.
Keon scored basically all of his tries playing lock.
Yep.
Like what is going on? He's so
that's
good.
actually nuts.
He's proper elite. Like
But also when we met him, like you made a lot of jokes about like the positions and stuff like that. He's like poker face. You don't actually know how he feels. You only hear this through other people. And
True.
I think that's
that
also his
true.
professionalism, right? But I think to your point, you want a player who is willing to play wherever they play best. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's where they like to play the most. A lot of the players grow up, develop playing one position, and then as soon as they go pro, they find themselves in another position because they're filling the whole of that team as well. But I think if we can also have Keon kind of playing different positions throughout the year, depending on who we're playing and where we need the strength at the time, like why not?
I think South, I'd be absolutely sold, and I am sold. I am definitely sold, but I'll be maybe they need one more good back rower. Because I think you're leaving a big hole there.
I think you can play Arrow there and be okay, personally.
Yeah.
I know,
true.
Maybe I think Jai is better through the middle. I think Keon is better through the middle, but I think Keon is better of the two of them through the middle.
Yeah.
He's a game breaker, which you don't have at the moment. Mate, I remember watching them play for the same team as kids when they were playing for the Jets. Mate, if I'm Wayne Bennett, I'm saying to Cam Murray, you're the captain. The best thing for your team. Convince him.
Very interesting to see how this plays out.
Heaps interesting.
Yeah.
I'm
Very
also
interesting.
absolutely beyond excited to have Jai Arrow back.
Yeah, huge.
Thank God. He was busted all year. Like he I'm pretty sure he got injured, that shoulder injury. I'm pretty sure that was in the first tackle in Vegas. So it was the first tackle of the season.
Yeah, and then he came back for a short stint of some kind, right? Or did he went into surgery?
So he should have got surgery. He was out. You're right.
Yeah.
He came back. And then it got so bad again that he needed to have surgery. But that was
because he was getting the pain-killing injections.
Yeah, that was so decimated that he was just like, nah. And then they earmarked, they're like, we're playing the Dolphins in 6 weeks. By then we'll have this many players back, so then I'll go get surgery. Like what a tough.
Crazy.
Well, yeah,
I remember
SOB.
when we went into Souths and we saw him, he had his cast on, like he'd already had his surgery, and he was looking at 17 weeks of rehab.
Jesus.
17. And it's just like, and I think also people don't realize, and it's a similar story with like Turbo, for example, when he gets into finals and he's getting these painkilling injections because they need Turbo. You don't realize how much pain these guys are in.
Oh, yeah.
Between games when they're not getting the injections, or like it's actually a debilitating way to live. And so to bounce back from that and come back in feeling fresh and ready, like that in itself is an achievement, I think.
I remember speaking to Danny Badiris. Apparently by the end of his career, he couldn't even get out of bed in the morning like quickly. Like he'd have to like sit on the side of his bed and like, warm up to even get out of bed because his Achilles was so cooked. Like it's just shit you don't even think about.
No, not at all. And I have, like, Jairo played his last game in round 19. I have it under pretty good authority that had they made finals, or if they were still a good chance to make finals, he just would have pushed through.
Really?
Yeah.
He's that guy.
Because that was the thing, mate. Like he did that injury in round 1. He came back in round 8, and like it was the talk for 10 weeks that he was busted waiting for surgery.
Yeah.
And then Cam Murray got suspended. It all just kept going wrong, and I think he just kept holding on.
Fuck, there's a lot of ticker in this team. There really is.
Yeah.
There really is. It's great. Like as a fan, Kat, I'm sure you're the same. Like this is almost giving me goosebumps.
Same.
Just hearing this.
I'm stoked.
Yeah.
I think also, last season was character building. It was
bloody hell.
and
for me as well.
Yeah. I'd actually rather not talk about it, but I started the conversation. So, but I think there is a lot to be said for that journey that a team goes on and what they would have learned at the bottom of the table, feeling really like physically in pain, but also it's just a very difficult reality to confront every day at training. And
100%.
And we did have a lot of, we mentioned like issues within the club, whether it be interpersonal or, scandals and stuff going on that we had to navigate. I feel like it's such a clean slate with Bennett coming in. Like it represents a lot, and like you don't want to. I know this is like best 17, keep it, footy, but there's a sense of like turning a new page with this side.
Yep.
And I think regardless of this best 17 and who we've got, I think there is this freshness that we've got regardless of who's on the side. And I think that makes it more exciting for sure.
Just hearing that makes me happy.
Oh,
you
should we cut it there?
It's like watching fucking Remember the Titans out here.
One of the best movies.
Let's finish off our side. Humphries at 14,
yeah.
my bench. And obviously mine and Matty's are a little bit different because we're picking different guys to start and whatnot. I think that two guys that are on both of our benches though, Sean Kepi.
Yep.
And Tallis Duncan.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm really excited for Duncan this year.
Me too.
Last year was good. I think Wayne Bennett, I think people making decisions at South over the last few years have underappreciated him a little bit and not given him as many opportunities as he should have had. I don't think Wayne will make that same mistake. So I'm very excited to see how he goes.
Can I quickly put you on the spot?
Yeah.
And if you need time to think, then I can go first. Because Cam Murray and Ewan Aiken won't be there round one.
Yeah.
What do you think the starting forward pack's going to look like?
If Murray's not going to be there, I play Keon at 13.
Keon at 13. Yeah, okay, that makes sense for your team. Yeah.
And then I would be playing probably Tallis on an edge. Wouldn't shock me if they go with Host, but I'd go with Tallis.
Right. See, I'd be going. Keon's already my 11. I'd have Tallis at 13, and I don't even know, to be honest. We probably have to put Jairo back there for that game.
So even though Keon, even if Keon was on my edge, he's my next best 13 at the club, I reckon, for sure. You'd still play Tallis there over him?
Well, like it was pretty obvious to me last year that Tallis was not playing. He was playing middle.
Yep.
So
okay, fair. Yeah,
that's the only reason.
Yeah, fair shout.
And me as well. Yeah, I've got Kepi. I actually wrote Kepi / Shaq Mitchell.
Yeah.
Listening to Kepi. There's a really, really good player in Kepi, and that 1 year at Manly he was great, and then he came over here, and sometimes he'll give a penalty away, and sometimes he'll make an error, and that, as a fan that sits on the couch and watches TV, that is annoying.
Yeah.
But then that same day I had with Cam Murray, he only said one little thing, but he just said Kepi's an absolute beast, and just like that's the captain of South right there. So I was like, all right, there's a bloody good player in there. So plus Shaq missed half the year last year, so I think Kepi will get that spot.
I think Kepi's a sort of forgotten guy in the conversation of impact of Wayne Bennett. Yeah, I'm expecting good things from Kepi this year. I think we'll see more of what we saw at Manly. My last man on my bench is Mawali, just because I didn't have him starting.
Mine's Totola.
Training images. He looks really good, Mawali. I know we've said it 3 years in a row, but
he looks the best he's looked.
I don't feel like it's ever been Mawali holding Mawali back. I think they've just tried to manage his minutes and maybe overthought it a little bit at times.
Well, I think I thought it was a great thing up until I thought last year was going to be the year.
The one, yes.
And he had some really good moments last year, but hopefully this is going to be the year.
I don't know what's going on with Totola and his injuries and whatnot, but if he was to be out, it could be a little blessing in disguise that it just forces them to chuck Mawali in the fire because I reckon he could be unreal.
See, I reckon they will anyway. I don't think they'll start Totola. I think they'll play him off the bench just to start the year. So, yeah.
You're convincing me on that. I think it's actually a very good shout. So guys not making the team as it stands right now, Matty just mentioned Shaq Mitchell. You've obviously got Jai Gray, who's not making the side if Latrell is there. Bud Sullivan, Fletcher Myers, Jacob Host, Lachlan Hubner, Liam LeBlanc, Kyle Lovett. Not Kyle, it's Ben Lovett. Depth is good, man.
Yeah.
I like it. There's a lot of talent there. There's a couple of names there that most people won't know, but there is a few guys with big ability there.
There's going to be injuries this year. There's injuries with every team.
Yep.
There's we're starting the year with AJ out, Ewan Aiken out, and Cam Murray.
It's the hardest comp in the world. There's going to be injuries.
There's going to be injuries.
Yep.
And I think last year it was almost an anomaly last year. Go look at the NRL physio stats. South were the worst injuries. And then second most was the Warriors, I think, and it was half the amount of games lost.
It was the difference between first and second was insane. To your point, we had maybe 100 more than the second place of injury time.
I think it was about 100.
Injury minutes.
It was ridiculous. So last year, a bit of an anomaly. Touch wood, that doesn't happen again, but you're going to get injuries. I really love our depth. As I said, Havili's not in my 17, but I reckon he'll play 20 games. Latrell will go play Origin, so Jai Gray will come in. So I hope Bud Sullivan kills it in reserve grade, and I hope he gets a chance. But at the same time, I hope Dodd plays. I don't know what to expect with Dodd. That's the thing. So I'm not.
Yeah,
sure.
I think just going off the history of Wayne Bennett, I think he will give him a very simplified job.
Yeah.
I think that people that are expecting him to have 20 try assists, you're just setting yourself up for failure. I don't think he's going to be that dude. I just think he's going to be kick at the right time, give the ball to Cody, create space, and I think that's all. Just get Campbell Graham ball on that edge. I think it'll be that simple.
I wonder, surely Dodd will play the first trial. You'd imagine so. He's never played first grade before. So that'll be a good watch.
Well, yeah, he'll play. Yeah, I'd almost back him to play that and Charity
Shield. Yeah.
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 Because you've got to give him the whole team.
You have to. Yeah. Cool.
Mate, I like this side. I love your depth. There's a lot of young guys there that I think have got a lot more to offer. The big one, though, he's not in the 17, but Wayne Bennett coming back in. We spoke about it already. It's like James Fisher-Harris arriving at the Warriors is a needle mover. Bennett's a bigger needle mover for me.
I agree. I
don't think it's overly close.
I think he's easily – sorry, Luai to the Tigers is big, but I reckon besides that, he's probably the biggest signing of the year.
I'd still go Wayne.
They're in the conversation.
Yeah,
together.
I think I'd still go Wayne. I think that, like, Luai's arrived. I think he is going to be a game changer there. I've got them going from 17th to 12th. I've got South Sydney potentially going from 16 to 1. Like, I genuinely think with Wayne they can win a comp.
The difference with the Luai comparison too is where he's at in his career versus a Wayne Bennett, who there's so much evidence for what he brings to a club and what he can do. For Luai, this is the first time we're seeing him jump ship, and it's the first time we're going to see the influence that he can have on a club where there will be like a day and night difference.
And the first time he's playing halfback full time as well.
There you go. And we're not seeing him partnered with a Nathan Cleary. So
that's a good point.
And
too.
he's gonna set the tone for his halves partnership. So yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. But Wayne coming to Souths, I mean,
can't wait.
Wayne's ears must burn every day the way that I talk about him. Have I not just been so excited about this since we found out? Guru, like, come on.
Yeah, you've been carrying on.
Yeah.
So have I, to be fair. I don't even fucking go for it.
It's a grade 3.
It's a good time.
Yeah, but it's warranted. It's grade 3 warranted, carry on.
Yeah, facts.
Mate, before we hit the frog and toad, anything else on this Bunny squad side? Anything you want to chuck in there?
I said at the start I was apprehensive. I haven't really sat down and thought about the team like I have in the last, however long we're going for, half an hour.
Yeah.
Like, I'm much more excited than I was half an hour ago. Like, just going through that team, liking the depth, those stories about Jai Arrow and Keon, I am excited, and I have a right to be excited. It's just last year was tough, man. It was tough, so that's why I'm a bit hesitant. But I back this team 100%.
Can I just throw one more other thing in that I absolutely love for South Sydney? As I said, I think that you'll be a final side. I think you'll be. I've got you in my top 4 at the moment. You don't have a buy until round 12. From round 12 to round 26, you have 3 buys, and you got a buy in round 26. So you have the perfect placed buy, in my opinion, that you have round 26 off. You've then got 1 week or 2 weeks to prepare for a 5-week onslaught that kicks off with the Roosters. I love that for South Sydney.
Especially if they're in the 4 and they have a chance of getting a second week off. And even if they don't, they've just had a week off. I know top 4 is a big shout, but geez, I did not even know where that buy, so that's good.
The structures of where they put buys, Kat knows this. She's heard me complain about it. It frustrates the shit out of me.
How do they do it? Is it random?
Fuck knows. I don't know.
It's like everything. It's random.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like the Tigers last year got round 1 and round 26.
Okay.
Just horse shit.
Yeah.
But because for the Tigers, that doesn't help them. For you guys, if I was a team that I think I could win a comp this year and I could pick where one of my buys would be, round 26 would be it.
Interesting.
So I like
See,
that.
I'm not going to lie. I haven't thought about
Neither.
buys that deeply.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of just nodding my head and agreeing with you here. I haven't really thought about it, but it does. You are making sense.
Yeah.
I think we did did we do a whole episode on like buys and the structures
I've
there?
also noticed this thing because of Supercoach,
yeah.
who's going to be available and stuff, and Latrell Mitchell's obviously a big talking point. But I just think, mate, if I'm coaching a team and I get 2 weeks to prepare and I get to have it 2 weeks before finals, sweet.
Who's the last round?
It is the Cowboys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I think you're very well placed.
Yeah.
If you have it in the last round, I'm like, fuck it. Like, I want to have a game going into finals.
Same.
That's why I think,
especially a Roosters game.
A Roosters game, like you're playing finals footy a week early. If you're top 4, you win that. You win the week after. You then get a week off again. Like
Roosters will be desperate though because they don't want to get the spoon.
I love that. We're gonna leave it there. That's some of your.
That's
best
a great note to end on.
Thank you for coming in, mate. We appreciate it.
You're
as
welcome.
always. Next time you come in, you'll have to come down the hallway.
Yeah, and go up the lift. Hopefully, go in the right lift this time.
Fingers crossed.
How about getting lost, getting to your new studio last time?
Yeah, it was a lot to take in.
Getting lost, and it's in the same building.
Yeah.
I was hyper confident you were wrong, but I was like, he'd know better than me. And then, should have backed myself. Lesson learned.
Have you have we properly filled people in on the fact that we're moving into the same
Well,
building?
yeah, we're moving studios in the next week or so. We might even be moved by the time you guys are watching this on YouTube. We're actually going to be in the same building as Bloke in a Bar. So very exciting. We'll
And
be
people
down
might be
the
asking
hall.
why you're moving. It's because of all those cicadas.
Yeah, cicadas.
Damn cicadas outside.
It's been wild. So cicadas with jackhammers next door. We'll be down the hall. Neighbours, you might call them.
Gonna pop in
exciting.
for a grumpy coffee.
Yes.
Multiple times a day.
Yeah. I've had my coffee intake in the last 6 months. It's just-
Love that.
and the money I spend on it is.
What a great combination.
I know, right?
That's the dream. All right. We're going to hit the frog and toe, guys. Thanks for joining us once again. The link for the Roo Crew is in the description if you want to come over there and join us. See you next time here on the Guru Podcast.